So I have a friend that was trying to sell some stuff on Facebook Marketplace, but was unsuccessful. So I gave her a few tips and she got it sold. And I thought, why not create this video so I can help other people as well? So let's get into the first tip. So when it comes to the photos, make sure you use your actual photos taken on your camera phone, because it's so easy to download photos from a website of the actual product you're trying to sell. But people tend to navigate away from those kind of adverts because I guess you just don't know whether it's a genuine item that they're trying to sell, and you can't even tell the condition of it. And when taking these photos, just make sure it's like a plain background and you've got good lighting so you can clearly see the item and all its little features. I tend to take photos of every single angle, and if there's any specific details that you need a close-up on, maybe it's certain text or a label of some sort, I try and anticipate what I think the customer would want to see. The more appealing and high quality the photo is, the more likely that you're going to end up selling the item. It adds a little bit of thoughtfulness and quality to it. It just entices people to click on the advert to know more about it. Now let's talk about the description, which can be quite frustrating, because generally the first question you get asked by a potential customer is it available and where are you located? And I must admit, it frustrates the hell out of me. Firstly, there's no way of avoiding whether it's available, but I always write the location on the very first line, pick up at so-and-so with the postcode. So I know the people that ask this question haven't even read the advert, and they're the time wasters. They're the ones just to avoid, because they're most likely never going to actually end up buying the item. I try to make the description as personalized as possible. I write the fact that I'm selling this item for so-and-so reason. I've had it for X number of years. The item's actually still in good condition and I just no longer need it, I no longer use it, or I've upgraded. Because otherwise people are going to think that you're selling it because it's faulty in some way. And if there are any issues, be truthful about it. Actually mention it in your advert. Take a photo of it so they don't have to ask you for one. I think honesty goes a long way. Another thing I always like to do is mention the height, width and length. Especially if it's like a furniture item, you just don't know whether it's going to fit. On Facebook Marketplace, you can actually provide a rating to the customer and the buyer. I tend to do this fairly often because it actually makes a difference for people that buy from me. The higher your rating, the more likely someone is to buy from you, because then they realize that other people have dealt with you in the past and you've given them good service. It also gives them a chance to glance back at all your previously sold items. And that kind of ensures whether you're actually just doing this for a business or you're just a regular person and you're just trying to get rid of a few things. Now, when it comes to the messages you receive from potential buyers, this is where you need a lot of patience. I've had to develop that patience over time. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you're going to get questions of whether it's available, and in those instances I tend to use the automated responses, especially for whether it's available or not. But then when they start asking you questions of the details that you've already written out in your description, that's when you can be a little bit suspicious of whether this is actually going to be a genuine buyer, because in most cases it won't be. The people that are genuine buyers are the ones that actually ask questions for something you haven't mentioned, or they can't necessarily see, or they just want reassurance of the condition of the item. So I tend to put a lot more effort into those ones, and I also try and respond as quickly as possible. When it comes to the price of the item, I do a marketplace search for comparable items. Once I've found some items that are the same condition as mine, then I tend to keep the price either $5 or $10 less. Because if someone's searching for the same thing, especially if there's several in the same area within a 5K radius, they're pretty much going to ignore yours. So you can bring yours right to the top if you've undercut them by $5 or $10. And that way I've always found successful sales. And also in those situations, they don't tend to negotiate the price. If they do, that's something for you to discern, but in most cases they're happy with the price that you've advertised. So if you find your item still hasn't sold, go back to all the 5 suggestions that I've made and make a tweak at some of them, because either it's a rare item that not many people are looking for, or the price is too high, or the picture quality is too low. There's always going to be some reason. So I'd highly recommend reviewing all the points I've made in this video, tweak some of them, and then see what the outcome is. because generally you want to try and avoid having to renew the advert once it expires, because you get 3 attempts to renew it and it becomes a little bit stale every time you do. If you followed all the tips in this video, you're more than likely to sell it in the first couple of days. So I really hope that you found this video helpful. If you'd like to see some more, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in another one.